What's up, guys? Hey, this is Scott York with Scott York Fitness. Yeah, I still am working out. I still train athletes, and I still have a garage gym. I've got multiple YouTube channels, and I haven't done much on my Scott York Fitness YouTube channel because just haven't had time, hadn't made time. And so I thought I would do a video on my current home garage gym setup because it's been 7 years since I did that original one on the Scott York Fitness YouTube channel. So this is going to probably be a long video, but if you're a workout nerd, equipment nerd like I am, you're probably going to like this. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my Scott York Fitness program as well, training people, and then some of the things that we do here that stand out from what other places do. And so you might find that interesting. So let's go ahead and start on this side of the room. This is a standard garage, two-car garage. And so over in the corner here I got the Behemoth. This is a Rogue Fitness Ghd, which is glute hamstring developer. And this is probably one of the top 3 most prized possessions that I have, because when you train athletes, a lot of them, most of them, I start training athletes usually in the spring of 8th grade. That seems to be the optimal time, and depending on their maturity. They're undersized and underpowered, and this right here is going to put muscle on their posterior chain, their glutes, their hamstrings, and their spinal erectors. So we use this for that purpose. It also seems to help with hamstring strains and hamstring tears. Never had anybody here have any sort of hamstring issues. I like to think that this keeps us healthy. So we use this regularly. And I remember recently, I'm a big fan of Westside Barbell and Louis Simmons and what they do. You'll see some of the influences in here, where there was a time when Louis Simmons and his crew at Westside Barbell were doing 600 a week, 600 forms, different variations on the GHD, whether it was for hamstrings, whether it was for lower back, 600 reps a week. So there you go. So we try to hit this at least once a week, if not more. So this thing is built like a tank. It's on wheels, and we can put it out in the driveway if we want. It's got this solid platform here where your feet go. You'll push off of that to help keep you stable. You've got your double rollers there. And you don't realize how big this thing is until you get on it. It's kind of like getting on a horse in some ways, because once you're up there, you're pretty high. So there you go, GHD Rogue Fitness. That's about a $700 piece of equipment. You've got your pin holes here, and you can put pins in. You can use bands. We haven't done a whole lot of that. Here are your adjustments right here if you need to adjust it backwards or forwards. You can also do sit-ups on here, and we will do that sometimes. This is a great tool for lower back, and just hanging from it, putting your head in the hanging position here, and it really feels nice on your lower back. Plus you get some blood flowing to your head, which I think is really important. All right, that's my wife's win flag for Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, so that's in here. We've got this right here. This is something that we use every day. This is a Jigsaw Drill, and you can find really expensive models of this online. I can't remember what the top brand is in terms of cost, but you can just get a Jigsaw Drill. And then you can see I've got a special attachment here. I'm going to go ahead and turn this on for a minute so you can get a feel for what this is like. We use this for massage all over the body, calves, your legs, your lower back, your upper back, just any area in your body that may be tight. It's battery powered, and it comes with a charger. I think I got this off eBay. I don't remember how much it was. It's really heavy. You don't want to drop it, obviously, so you want to keep it in a place that is going to be safe, because this is going to be a real popular item if you have multiple people in your gym. Let's turn it on. And so then I have 3 or 4 different attachments. You just pop this attachment out, you can put another one in. This one seems to be the most popular size right here. It's a little bit smaller than a golf ball. So there you go. We use that daily for recovery and just working out soreness. Very important. If you don't have a system built in, you know, making sure that you or your athletes are recovering correctly, then you're not going to get full benefit. All right, next we have our Rep Soft Plyo boxes. And when I look at some of my videos on my Scott York Fitness YouTube channel from the past, we used to use a wood box, Rogue Fitness 20-inch, 24-inch, 30-inch, which I'll show you in a minute. Still have it, we still use it. But we would load up bumper plates, you know, to 40 inches and jump up on that wood box. My God, how dangerous was that? So we don't do that anymore. So these are Velcro, and you can just take them off and then you can build whatever height that you want. So we use this a lot. Once again, Westside Barbell, heavily influenced by what Louis Simmons and they do at Westside Barbell. We do depth jumps, we do single leg jumps, double leg jumps, we do step ups, I build little obstacle courses, you know, from low to high, from high to low. We even use this for handstand push-ups, just as a, you know, safe backboard, so to speak. But we do jumps practically every week, and we'll hold dumbbells or kettlebells or wear a vest. We have, you know, jump offs where we're trying to see who can jump the highest, whether it's 1 leg or 2 legs, with weight, without weight, what have you. So this right here is invaluable if you train athletes. I believe I got these off of Amazon. I'll put some links below the video here so you can see descriptions, etc. of what I have. And then here I've just got some odds and ends from years gone by, athletic achievements, accomplishments, things like that. I have pennants up here because I've got athletes that have trained here that went on to play at the next level. And that's really what this program is about, is surrounding ourselves with people that are very motivated. My feeling is that if you don't control your atmosphere and have people around you that are going to lift you up on those days when you need it, then, you know, you're gonna get the opposite. You're gonna get poor energy. And, you know, there's an old saying that the way you practice or the way you work out in this instance is how you're going to perform, and I find that to be true. So we had Jonathan Kelley, Cedar Park High School graduate. He's currently at West Texas A&M, that's D2. We got Keegan Nichols, Cedar Park high school graduate and all-time strongest high school kid, as far as I know, at Cedar Park High School. 4 different categories. That kid is a beast. He's at Austin College. I believe he's a sophomore, and he is a linebacker, and he's won lots of awards in D3. You know, he's an animal. He's still going. It wouldn't surprise me to see him get some offers from D1. He's certainly capable of playing at that level. And then we got Mason Brooks. He's D1. He's Cedar Park High School. 6'6", 300-pounder. Good Lord. And then this one I might be the most proudest of. This is my wife. She was a full-ride Division I athlete at Nevada, University of Nevada, Reno. And she's a diver, captain of the dive team, scholastic athlete. This is her award right here, swimming and diving scholar athlete. And so very proud of her. She worked extremely hard, set records. She at one time, and here and there still is my training partner, but when I was heavily into bodybuilding, she was my workout partner and has always been one of the best, if not the best, training partners that I've ever had. Here's our whiteboard, and you know, we use that just to keep everybody updated. I'm very big on warm-up, so I have it written down. We do the same warm-up every time. If I'm looking at 8 or 10 athletes in here and I see that they're just standing around not doing stuff, I make sure that they, you know, do everything on here. And it's very important. It only takes a few minutes, and I can't tell you how many times I've had athletes, you know, get little strains or sprains because they didn't warm up properly, and you know, it happens. So you have to warm up correctly, and I find that if I do it the same way, everybody knows what to expect. So I have them get a broomstick and they do some twists, they do stiff-legged deadlifts and some squats, just body weight stuff, front to back for shoulder flexibility, and then they hit the bike for 30 or 60 seconds, leg swings, three-way lunge just to open up the hips and get that area working, and then that gun that I showed you, or a rumble roller. And then the current news is one of my high school seniors, Ethan Harris, first place and qualified for regionals in powerlifting at his high school at Lago Vista. He had a 600-pound deadlift, which was the best in the meet, and these were some of the schools that were at the meet. So it wasn't like it was, you know, mediocre competition. You had some pretty good schools represented there. Lampasas, who I think won the whole meet, was there, and good job to Ethan. So he's qualified for regionals, and that's coming up in the next 10 days or so. And then just some stats on, you know, athletes that I want my other athletes, when they get to be a sophomore in high school, to pay attention to. What was this guy weighing when he was in high school? What was his squat? What was his deadlift? What was his bench press as a sophomore, 270? What was his clean? What was his pull-up max? And then just numbers for settings for our J-cups and our pins and our bands, red band, blue band, green band. Those are the weight at the top, 30 pounds at full stretch. And then some little shelves here just to put stuff on. A weight tree that we use to store our plates, all the way from 45 pounds to 2.5s. And then of course our music. And then this right here is a clipboard that I use to monitor my athletes' nutrition. And so if they're part of this program, you know, I expect them to eat right. If you're not paying attention to nutrition as a coach, then, or, you know, with yourself, you can train every single day, 2 or 3 hours a day if you want, but if you're not eating correctly, fueling your body, you're not going to get the best results. And so we pay very much attention to nutrition. It's a daily thing that I oversee. And, you know, my Scott Your Fitness strength training program is a paid program. And so sometimes kids are busy and they can't get here in a week. And so they'll talk about, hey, I can't get there because I'm busy with, you know, this sport, basketball or track or whatever. But I remind them that it doesn't matter, you know, the value is much more than just coming here and working out. The value is in the nutrition guidance that you're getting from me. Because once again, most of these high school kids are undersized and underpowered, and if they're not paying attention to nutrition, they're just not going to realize their full potential. So the value of my program is heavily weighed in the nutrition. If you're not being consistent with that, forget it. You're not going to reach your full potential. And then these are our goals that we've set for spring. May the 30th here is our due date to try to achieve these goals. I'm not going to go through everything, but basically we're trying to get a new max on bench press, box squat, and trap bar deadlift. So GH, those are his goals right there. And then you can see, you know, some of the others here. And I'm on there too. I don't exclude myself from this. I want these guys to hold me accountable as well. Accountability is a huge thing in this program. All right, I'm going to get back to the equipment, I promise, but I just want to give you an overview of, you know, what we do here and how serious we take this stuff here. So on this whiteboard, we have some, you know, inspirational quotes and things, hopefully. We've got grades because it's very important that my athletes make A's and B's. I have found if they settle for C's, D's, F's, then they're going to settle for mediocrity. And that's just not, at this point in my life, that's not an area that I'm looking to explore. I've done that before, and that leads to nowhere. I want guys that are achievers, because that's going to lift all of us up. So here are the calories that some of these guys are eating each day, and this gets updated regularly. We don't just write this up once and then say, okay, that's how many you eat. It depends on, you know, if they're older. If they've been here for a year, then obviously their needs are going to be more than when they were younger, so we update calories. If they're not gaining weight, then we update calories. Let's just look at a few here. So KN, that's the initials of a guy. When he started, he weighed 163. His heaviest that he's been was 220. So he's gained 57 pounds, 26 pounds, 50 pounds, 12, 47, 28, 37. This is how much weight these kids have gained since they've been here. If you don't, you know, follow this stuff and make sure you log this stuff, then how do you know? It's just a guessing game. So you have to really pinpoint, you know, what your goals are, and then you have to work intelligently towards those goals. Otherwise, you're just guessing. I guess I'll start this year. I guess I'll, you know, I guess we'll win this year. I don't know. I guess we'll win. But we don't want to do that. We want to put ourselves in a position so that we have the best shot at winning. Now, I understand there's certain things that happen, and but we want to minimize as much as we can and control the controllables. So here's another whiteboard. This is our smaller whiteboard. I'm going to show you the bigger whiteboard in a minute. This is kind of an overflow. If you're not on the big whiteboard, then you're going to be on this whiteboard. And these are our current maxes for bench press, squat, deadlift, military press, trap bar deadlift, pull-ups, and front squat. This gets updated weekly because we have guys that set PRs, personal records, weekly. That's what we try to do, is get stronger here in a safe way. We zigzag the training so that you're not always pounding. You know, you go hard, then you back off, then you go hard, then you back off. All right, here's another whiteboard for this, that, and the other. Here's our broomsticks that we use for warming up. Just a really good way to, you know, work on flexibility and warm up. Here's our kettlebells. The heaviest one is that white one, 88 pounds. And then we've got 70 all the way down to 20 pounds. I love kettlebells. My background is in bodybuilding, but I've really come to love kettlebells because of the grip that you have to handle them, the athleticism, and the cardio conditioning if you're at that point in your training. And you know, it's just a nice challenge. So we have all kind of challenges that we do with our kettlebells. All right, let's look over here. So we've got some bodybuilding influences of mine. You know, most of my guys don't know who these people are, but I do, and I like to share stories. On the left is Lee Priest, on the right is Tom Platz, two pro bodybuilders, best in the world. If you're going to do something, surround yourself with people that are the best in the world. I was fortunate to work with Lee for a couple of years on a Bodybuilders Reality DVD project, and I filmed him every month for 2 years, and then every month our subscribers got a DVD of his training, his competing, his traveling, seminars, gym openings, cheat days, you name it. It was a lot of fun. And then Tom Platz on the right, that guy is incredibly intense. So that picture I think was taken at in California, Venice. I don't know which gym, Gold's, World's Gym, and it's just an awesome picture. It's one of the most iconic pictures in all of bodybuilding. And then we've got our little weight area, our weight belt where we hang our weight belts. And you know, you gotta have weight belts because you want to stay safe, and you know, for psychological reasons as well as physiological. A weight belt just gives your abdominal wall something to press against to kind of give you a little bit more support. You know, I tell my guys all the time, look at football players. They wrap their knees, they wrap their wrists, they wrap their ankles. So why wouldn't you, on a heavy set of deadlift, squats, what have you, you know, wear a weight belt? So they understand. Here's the wood box that I talked about that we used to jump on. So that's a 20-inch, 24-inch, and you can flip it over on the side, and it's 30-inch. And you know, this has stood the test of time. I've had it since 2015, and here we are 5 years later. And actually, I think I had it since 2013, so 7 years. That's right, and it's still holding up very well. All right, over here we got John Sherman, another IFBB pro bodybuilder. I used to work out with John when I moved back to Austin. I was very fortunate to work out with him. It says, "To Scott, thanks for having my back. God bless John Sherman." Great guy, great training partner, turned pro at a very early age, as did Lee over here. I think he turned pro at 20 years old. So just, these guys are amazing bodybuilders and people as well. And then we've got one of my original training partners, Mike Scarcella, and his wife Judy at the time. On the left, Mike Scarcella, Mr. America, one of the most iconic bodybuilding titles, along with Steve Reeves, I think Reg Park, John Grimmick, Clancy Ross, throwing out some names there. These guys, I believe all of those guys, won Mr. America, and there's only so many Mr. Americas walking the earth. This is not a watered down contest. This is something that, if you win this, that's quite an honor. So he was my training partner in the early 90s, and I learned a lot from Mike, and he was awesome. We have this, one of the first things I put up in this gym, no excuses, nothing else to need to say about that. Here's our big strength board right here, where we have, our current PRs. Notice not every column is filled out because we don't do some of this stuff. It's too much. We really focus on the basics here. We have a countdown of how many days until high school football starts, and that is current. We've got our evil 15 calorie bike challenge. How long will it take you to get 15 calories? Our winner currently is Mason Brooks. I mentioned him. He's current Western Kentucky Hilltopper football player. 18 seconds. Try that sometime and see how you like doing that. 15 calories as fast as you can. And then we've got some other columns here. Of note, Keegan, mentioned him, 225-pound bench, 21 reps as a high school kid. So, pretty phenomenal. A lot of people say, well, you don't have to be that strong to be a football player. Well, if that's the case, then why do they, at the NFL Combines, put such big stock into your numbers, your strength? How many reps can you get on the bench? And, we time the 10-yard dash here as well. And look who's number one, Keegan. So the guy that's the strongest here, or was, we'll have to check back when he comes back from college, is also the fastest in the 10-yard dash. So, don't be afraid to, add size to your body and build a bigger engine, because a bigger engine is going to be a more powerful engine, and force equals mass times acceleration. So football is a game of force and power is work divided by time. So if you can be powerful and forceful, you're giving your chances are going to be better to do some damage on the football field. All right, so then we've got our Bowflex Dumbbells. I got to thank Joe Vitale, my buddy Joe Vitale, for contributing these to the gym. I've had these for about 5 years. These go up to 90 pounds. So 10 pounds, you can just dial in the weight, and you can dial it all the way up to 90 pounds, and then you got this little stand here. Under the stand, you got a digital scale. I weigh these guys once a week because I want to find out how much they weigh. And then once I find out how much they weigh, we compare it to over here, or on my notebook that I'm using, to see if they've gained weight or lost weight, because you got to monitor this stuff. It's very important. All right, we got a sandbag, 150-pound sandbag. We use this for strongman type things. It is horrible. 150 pounds of sand in there, and we're probably going to get a 100-pounder next, just to have a little variety. But we do use this regularly for all kind of little challenges and drills. I love that thing. All right, let's get our bars. So we've got some straight bars here, Rogue Fitness straight bar. We've got a Titan Fitness straight bar. These are 45-pound straight bars that we use for bench pressing, straight bar deadlift. We've got a 35-pound short bar, which I love. There's just something about a good short bar that is nice to have for curls, or other exercises that you might normally do with a straight bar, a standard straight bar. And if you've used one, you know what I'm talking about. It's a nice tool to have, just a nice option. And then we've got our multi-grip bar here. It looks like a ladder, kind of. So the point of that is different grips, tricep strength, always trying to build those muscles that'll help our bench press increase. And some people call that a football bar, maybe a Swiss bar. Multi-grip bars by Titan Fitness. And then we have a vest here, which we've been experimenting with recently. This is Titan Fitness. It's got these little pouches in here. I think each of these weigh 2 pounds, so you can adjust your weight. and you've got a belt here to strap this around your torso. And we use that, you know, for jumps, for lunges, for sled work, and it definitely increases the intensity. And then I've got a bar holder. This is by Titan Fitness right here. That's worked very, very well. This is a safety squat bar, kind of looks like a roller coaster bar. I've got the vest hanging on it. And let's see here if I can get that off and show you that. So that's what that looks like. And you use this for squats. You can do, you know, pretty much anything with legs, lunges, and it's probably our hardest bar. We just recently did a max effort day for safety bar, which is what this bar is right here. Safety bar box squat. So we sit on a 14-inch height, and you know, you go down and then you rest, relax your hips. You have a wide stance, you have your toes pointed out, and then you try to stand up. And yeah, it's pretty tough. It's much harder than a regular squat, at least for us. And then over here we got some Dynomax balls. The black and white one is 20 pounds. The all white one is 6 pounds. We'll use those for GHD if we want to add resistance for our hamstrings or lower back. We'll use those for throws against the wall out here, just for explosive stuff. Here's another weight tree, same as the other one. I think I got that, I might have gotten that off of Walmart. I'm not sure. It was around 50 bucks, and it's not commercial grade, but you know, it definitely will do the job. And you know, as long as you're not pushing it around and kicking it and throwing it around, it's going to last, you know, for you. It does what it's supposed to. And then here we've got a trap bar deadlift. That's by Titan Fitness, and I got to really commend Titan Fitness because this is my second bar, this trap bar deadlift bar. The first one had some bulging in the shaft, and so you couldn't get your plates on it because it had some bulging here. I'm not sure why that happened, but I emailed them and they, without question, sent me another one, which was just awesome. So I appreciate that, Titan Fitness, and I bought quite a bit of stuff from them. Here we've got a utility bench. I've used this bench for a few years now, and it's rated for 440-pound capacity. We've used it for a lot more. It's an adjustable bench. You can do decline, incline, and flat. The problem with it is this gap right here, which I know a lot of people, you know, don't like. And then you can see some of the welds here. I think it was like this, you know, when I got it. But you know, it's good for lighter stuff. If you're going to use a bench like this for really heavy benching, you're going to want to have safety pins in case the bench were to just fall apart. But we haven't had any problem with it. We use it, you know, for dumbbell work and bench work and so on and so forth. All right, let's keep making our way around the perimeter, and then we'll get into the middle of the room. These are Bowflex Dumbbells. Once again, thanks to my friend Joe Vitale who contributed these to me. These go from 5 pounds, adjust all the way up to 52.5 pounds. And I need to get another one of those little Bowflex dumbbell holders to put these on. But yeah, we use those regularly, obviously. A lot of dumbbell work in here. We got the Texas flag, of course. We got our Longhorn flag. We've got our Demon. That's from the Dodge Demon right there. And I used to have this rack turned around facing that, so you had to look at the Demon, you know, while you were doing squats. And to be more efficient, I recently turned the rack around. We'll talk about more of that in a minute. We've got a clock up here, digital clock. You got to have one of those. It has a timer, so you can do all kinds of stuff. If you're into CrossFit, it's got Fight Gone Bad programmed. And, you know, yeah, you got to have a clock that has lots of functions to it. We've got our storage rack here, gym towels for when it's in the heat of the summer. We're in Texas, so, you know, you got to have your sweat towels. You got some cones for challenges. Got some mosquito spray and Germ-X. And then we've got some lighter dumbbells. Because my wife and her training partner work out here. We've got a Landmine right here, and this is nice for rotation types of exercises and rows. This end goes into your bumper plates, and then you slide your bar, your straight bar, into that end, and then you've got a knob to where you can tighten And so now you've got, just off the floor, a nice way to do T-bar rows, single arm rows, and then you can put all kind of drills together. We've got our gymnastics rings, which we use regularly. We use push-ups. We use these for push-ups. We use these for dips, pull-ups, and we have something called a strength challenge that we use those for. And there may be actually a video on my channel of us doing that strength challenge, excuse me. All right, we got some more dumbbells down here. We've got a Spyder 360. That right there is one of the original prototypes. And so Spyder 360, you can just Google him if you want. And the guy that runs that is a really nice guy. He's an engineer. I think he's from Tennessee. And he sent me these just to see how I liked them. And you can see that one of the wheels here is broken. He's got these rollers on the bottom. And I have 4 kids, and one of them got on here and tried to use it as a dolly, and so that broke. But it still works. So we use this for a lot of lateral leg movements, single leg laterals like slides. You know, that's a great drill for your adductors and balance. And then here we've got weights for your ankle weights under here. Okay, under here we've got something called the burn machine, and this is for shoulders, and that's evil. It's a little dusty here, but inside of that is a really cool device to use for shoulders. I'm sure there's some videos on my channel of us using that. Under here we've got some overflow for some more of the vest weights for that Titan Fitness vest that I showed you. These are 2 pounds each. They're just go right into the vest. We've got some medicine balls, D-ball, for slams, for throws, you know, for all different types of things. Here we've got a sled by Rogue Fitness, and we use this probably weekly for forward walks, backward walks, sled pushes, sled drags. You can add a bunch of plates to it, you can stand on it, and this thing is really awesome for just power. You know, I talked about force and mass and acceleration, so this is a great way also to correct your stride when you're running. So if you have a really funky sprint stride, this will help correct it, because when you're pushing it and you're running behind it, you have to be efficient. You have to move in a straight line if you want to get this drill over with, because it's hard. So you're running in a straight line out of necessity. So it'll help to correct your stride. Here's a calf machine. This is not commercial quality, but it gets the job done. Seated calves. Very important to work your calves. I learned that by the hard way recently. I was training for a competition and I strained a calf muscle, and I realized it's because I hadn't been training my calves. So I went out and got this, and I haven't had any problems since. Got a little air conditioner here. That doesn't do too much, but it's nice to have in the summer. Got a neck harness right here by Spud. I think they have a website, Spud Inc. Got an attachment right here for the Landmine that I showed you. And then let's look at the rack here. This is a Rogue R6. It's got 6 uprights, 3 on each side. It's West Side style. It's got 1-inch hole spacing. I believe it's 11 gauge steel. I have some of my guys that have accomplished stuff sign it just so they can be remembered, you know, in years to come. We got Keegan on there, we got Jonathan Kelley over there, we got Ethan on there, we got Mason Brooks on there, and we've got some others. So this rack is awesome. You can do so much with it. I've got it turned like this because we work on both ends. I've got 2 sets of J-cups so that we can have guys benching if we wanted to at the same time, or we could have a guy squatting here, we could have a guy benching here. And you know, you've got your Matador attachment right here. That's for dips, triceps, and for chest. You've got your monkey bars up there, skinny bar, fat bar, and then you see the monkey bar right there. We do a lot of pull-ups. We have the bands that I talked about. We use those for pull-up assistance if needed, and you know, we do a lot of pull-ups, so I want to make sure these guys have all the tools they need to get the job done. Lastly, hopefully I don't run a memory here, Rogue adjustable bench. I've been wanting this bench for 4 or 5 years. I couldn't justify the cost, $700, $800 with shipping. It weighs 125 pounds, but the weight capacity of this bad boy is 1,000 pounds. So this is what we use. I just got this week. This is what we use for our heavy benching. It's awesome. It's got wheels on it. You can move it around, and you can see that it's a minimal gap right there, which makes all the difference in the world. So, I didn't even get to talk about my Rogue bike, but there that is. And if you've never used one of those, if you see that, run, because you do not want any part of that. Anyway, if you have any comments or anything about what I've showed you here, leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions. Or if you got suggestions for me about anything, then let's hear it. All right, guys, have a great day.